Alright, so I just saw Zach Cregger's new film, Weapons. I saw it in IMAX, and I think it's really good. I think it's probably the best horror film I've seen this year. It's either this or Bring Her Back, but I really like this film. I like Zach Cregger. I watched Barbarian last night in preparation for this movie, and I like that too. I like his filmmaking technique. He has a lot of weird, crazy, like horror aspects, a lot of weird, crazy, gross gore, but not too much of it. It's not like a Terrifier movie where it's just a non-stop gore fest. It's like used in certain points strategically to emphasize the horror components of the film, and I think that's done phenomenally well in this. There's barely any like jump scares, and the jump scares that do happen aren't really like that loud or scary. What really makes this movie scary is just the intensity and like the fear, for the kids that are missing and the adults and the teachers that are looking for them. There's a lot of really good tense moments where people are peering through windows or doors, trying to look into a mysterious house to see what's going on. The tense situations like that, I think, were done phenomenally well in this film. I really like that they separated the movie into different chapters that would follow each main character, right? So it started out with like Justine, the teacher of the 17 students that went missing, right? That was her class. So she was the teacher, and there was this really good dynamic where all the parents were like pressing her about it and blaming her, and it's like, why was it your class? Why was it only your class and only those students? Where are kids? Did you have something to do with this? Do you know something we don't know? That was a really good dynamic with the Justine teacher character, right? And she also had these personal dynamics and difficulties, alcoholism and relationship struggles. She was like, at one point, a police officer character who I think has his own chapter at one point, where he's like cheating on his wife with her, and there's all this dynamic, and then she gets into an argument with the police officer's wife, and there's this whole, so she has a lot of good like character tension moments in the film. So I really like that's the first chapter was Justine's character. I thought that was really good. And the next character I believe is Josh Brolin, who is also the other standout character in this film. Josh Brolin plays the father of Matthew, a student who's gone missing. He kind of does the whole investigation. He goes on the map and draws lines and looks at this kid disappeared from this house and went, walking in this direction. So then he kind of triangulates where all the kids went missing and the way in which the Ring doorbell cams, they were seen going in a certain direction towards this big tower, this like water tower or radio tower. So he triangulated it back to the house where the Alex kid. So there was this one kid in the classroom. So there's 18 kids in total in this classroom, I believe. 17 of them go missing, and only one kid remains. Only one kid showed up to class that one time. That was the Alex character. He gets his own chapter at the very end as well, which I thought was good. That chapter was really like tense and scary and very sad to see this poor kid get taken advantage of by this who really turns out to be the main protagonist of this film, this Ant character, I believe. Ant to the Alex kid. So anyway, back to Josh Brolin's chapter. He does the whole investigation and stuff, and he teams up with the Justine, the teacher, and they eventually find their way to the house. And then that's where both their chapters end. What I really like about this film is that it goes forward and back in time. Fucking thing won't stand up. The wind is blowing my phone over. I have it on the little stand there. Anyway, so the film, what's really cool about it is that it goes forward and back in time. It will, one chapter for one character, it will go all the way to this point in the timeline, and then we'll cut back to the next chapter, and it will cover that character's whole chapter, and then it will lead up to the point where we left off prior with the previous chapter. It's kind of hard to explain it. The timeline and stuff, you'll understand it if you see the movie. I don't want to give away too too many spoilers, but I'll just say that the ending is very satisfying. I really like the ending. It is very crazy and over the top in like a really weird way, where you find out about what happened to the 17 children that went missing, and the sort of main antagonist aunt character, something happens to her in regards to the children, and it's just, it was very satisfying. So anyway, I gotta hold up my phone because the wind keeps knocking over. Anyway, I don't want to give away spoilers, but I'll just say it's a very satisfying ending. Not a typical horror ending per se. Zach Cregger, right, again, I watched Barbarian last night in preparation for that. That movie also ended on a kind of a weird note. Not a terrible note, but also not like a great, like good, happy ending per se. It was just a very, I don't know, you just gotta see it. But what else should I talk about? The score was good, right? The score, the tense scenes. I should probably go back and talk about the other chapters. So what are some other standout characters? I really like the chapter with, there was like the junkie, drug addict, homeless guy who was like, he was just going around scrounging for things, breaking into people's houses and stuff, taking things to try and sell them, right? His whole character arc is that he needed to buy nice clothes in order to apply for a job so then he could make money and then pay his mother back. And he has this crack Hunter Biden style crack addiction, right? So he was like, kind of a scumbag, but also you kind of like, he was kind of funny on it. There's actually a lot of funny, like in a sort of morbid sort of way, there's actually a lot of funny moments. My theater kind of laughed out loud at a lot of points. So that's good. That character was really good. I forgot what his name was, the junkie. I'll just call him homeless junkie guy. I really liked his scenes where he was trying to scrounge around and just find anything he could sell, rip people off and steal shit, try and sell it. And then he comes into conflict. This is another aspect of the film. So the teacher character, Justine, she like hooks up with the police officer, and I explained that before, right? The police officer is cheating on his wife with Justine, the teacher character. And then he has a character arc where he comes into conflict with the junkie character, right? He sees the junkie character trying to break into the back of like a storefront in order to take things to resell them, right? So he chases him down, and this, I guess there's kind of a little bit of a social, typically Zach Cregger, he does have some sort of social commentary, which I find it a little bit woke. It feels kind of ACAB-ish, anti-cop, which I don't like because I support police. But he kind of always makes the police out to be like scumbags, and they don't really care about protecting people, and they're just like lazy and they don't do their jobs well, which does happen in real life, but not to the extent that Cregger portrays in at least the two films now that I've seen from him. But I thought the cop character was good. What's good about the characters in this film is that they all have flaws. They're all relatable to a certain extent, other than obviously the main antagonist woman. She's just totally crazy. The aunt character of the Alex kid, she really is just wacky, and her motivations don't really make sense. It doesn't really explain much in terms of why she's doing this. Like why does she want to have all these? How do I not spoil this? Have all these have the 17 school children disappear. But you know what? I think it's good because it doesn't need to be explained. That's that's kind of what I like about Zach Cregger, at least Barbarian too, is that there is all this like crazy, almost, well, not it basically is supernatural stuff. But you know what? It doesn't. You don't need to hold the audience's hand. We don't really need it to be explained to us. Like it just is happening, and that and then the characters have to deal with the consequences of what happens, right? It doesn't really need an explanation per se. So anyway, I talk about the junkie character, the cop character. What other chapters were there? There was the Alex chapter at the end, which was really sad. This kid was like, his parents got like the aunt character that came over. She like used her crazy voodoo thing with the hair and the stick in order to like I don't know how to like basically sedate her parents. They were just sitting there like completely still, like staring off, and that was a really creepy visual. There was one point where they started like stabbing their face with forks. So basically she has like this evil demon magic powers in order to like brain control people, in order to do whatever, in order to like basically sedate themselves or hurt themselves like with the forks, or hurt other people, right? I think probably the best scene in the movie is when that, I think it's like a superintendent, the gay Asian guy who's gay married to a white guy. He like there's one scene where the evil aunt character comes over to her house to try, because they're like on her case, right? They're about to send CPS to the Alex kid's house because it's very obvious that something, is very wrong happening in that household, and they suspect that, oh, maybe the missing children are in that household, which I'm not going to say anything, but probably the best scene in the movie is when the superintendent, gay Asian guy, he gets under the evil demon mind control with the hair, and he like he like smashes his face into his gay husband's face. They just go like boo, boo, like he just like, and physically I don't know if that's really how the human body works, but he's somehow able to cave in his gay husband's face by bashing his own face into his gay husband's face. It's weird, and it's like a really crazy, gross, like over the top, gory visual, and I like the crazy, gross horror stuff, so that was really fun. But yeah, he basically kills his gay, he's under the mind control, and he kills his gay husband by bashing his face in, and then he goes, and then she can like, another aspect of the evil demon mind control with the hair and the stick is that she's able to, if she wraps the hair of a certain individual around the stick, she's able to get the mind-controlled person in order to go and like basically lock in and like hone it like a honing missile. They just start charging at whoever that person is, even if they're all the way across town, right? This was really, basically it was almost a comedic scene with the gay Asian superintendent guy. She wraps the hair of Justine, the teacher character, because, Justine and Josh Brolin's character, oh no, they're on her case, so she has to stop them, so she wraps the gay Asian teacher guy's hair around the stick, and then he just like gets up, and he's like, he literally runs across. There's this really funny like jump cut scenario in which he's just running past like this restaurant, he's running past this parking lot, he's running past like these kids playing baseball, and they're like, what the hell's going on with this guy, what the hell, dude, are you okay? And he's like, he has blood and guts all over his face, and his eyes are like bulging out of his, you'll see it in the trailers, right? His eyes are bulging out of his eye sockets almost, and he goes, and this is probably the best scene, the scene in the gas station where Josh Brolin and the Justine character, they're like, she's just filling up her gas, and then Josh Brolin comes in to confront her. It's like, hey, what happened with the kids? I'm on to something. He shows her the map of all the stuff that he drew. We're like, oh, this kid went in this direction. They're all going to this water tower. We should go check this out to see if we could find these kids. And then the freaking crazy gay Asian guy, he comes charging, and he has blood all over his face. He freaking tackles the Josh Brolin's character to the ground, right? Because he's locked on to Justine, so he's trying to get to Justine, and then Justine runs into the gas station. This is really cool. I really like the shaky camera where it's like she starts like running through the aisles of the gas station, and like the camera is like doing this weird like shaky movement where it like turns to the left, and then it's like goes. This is the best scene in the movie. She runs to the door. She can't open the door. Oh no! And then Josh Brolin comes in. He tackles the crazy possessed gay Asian superintendent guy into the glass or whatever, and then she gets out. She runs away. She gets in her car. She drives away, and then the crazy guy keeps on chasing her on foot till eventually till eventually the gay Asian guy, he gets ran over by a car. He runs past the red light, and the car just freaking slams into him. It's a really funny visual, actually. You see, like, the lady that drove the car that slammed into him because he ran the red light. She gets out, she starts screaming. You see, and there's this, like, shot that basically goes up into the screen. You see his brain splatter all over the pavement. Very gross, that was the best scene in the film. But there's a lot of memorable scenes, a lot of really tense moments, gory stuff. Not too much gore. Again, it's not like a Terrifier movie, Terrifier 3, where it's just nonstop gore fest, right? It uses its violent, crazy moments deliberately in very specific scenes in order to amplify the horror aspect of the film. So I thought that was really good. So anyway, I do recommend this movie. I saw it in IMAX. You could definitely see it in IMAX to get those like loud jump scares when they're really loud, right? I think it does a lot to help. I haven't seen much horror films this movie. I've seen the Until Dawn movie, which I really like the video games, but the Until Dawn movie was not very good. Bring Her Back was good. That was very gruesome and crazy and gross as well. But this is definitely the best movie I've seen this year. I really like Zach Cregger now that I've seen 2 of his movies. So I do highly recommend this film. I can't wait to watch other YouTube reviewers and see what they said, because this is getting all the rave about. Rotten Tomatoes that has really high score. This is definitely one of the standout films of the year, best horror film of the year that I've seen, and it's definitely going to make my top 10 list at the end of the year when I go. I'll definitely make that video in December or January. I'll make a video basically compiling all the movies that I've seen, and I'll rate them. So yes, I do recommend you see this movie. IMAX is not required. It's not like a Dune or a Christopher Nolan movie where it's like, oh, you need to see it in IMAX to build a cinema. But I do recommend you do see it in IMAX, because I really like the bigger screen and the improved audio. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie. And yeah, that's my review. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you.